Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Westy here, back with another YouTube video. This time be some Warzone 2, 5 tips and tricks on how to get better at Warzone 2 and also how to acquire yourself some more wins. So make sure to stick around for all 5 tips, be showing you how to get better at Warzone 2. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so straight into tip number 1. That is, we're going to be trying to rush around and get high kill gameplays. So the purpose of this is to try and put yourself into more engagements. You'll see here I pick up a lot of bounties in this game, trying to get more kills, trying to just get into more engagements, because at the end of the day what we want to do is get better at one-on-one gunfights, particularly in solos, but also one-on-one, one-on-two type situations. And the only way we're going to be able to do this is by getting in more engagements, learning different types of positioning, what you should be doing, how to escape some situations if the player's got an advantage, such as a height advantage on you, maybe a gun advantage if it's early in the game, you don't have your weapons yet, and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure we pick up those bounties and try and get into more engagements, going for high kill gameplays. The only way you're going to get better at the game is by putting yourself in more of these gunfights. 1 or 2 kills a game probably isn't going to really get you any better at the game. Going for those kills around the double digits, around 10 kills a game, it's going to get you in more engagement. So tip number 1 is trying to get more kills, put yourself in more engagements. Alright guys, tip number 2, and this one is slightly on personal preference, but I want you guys to try, particularly if you do play on a high sensitivity, is lowering your sensitivity. I see a lot of people, particularly I play with, if I'm playing in squads and whatnot with randoms, that have such high sensitivities, and it's really hard to get smooth aiming and really accurate aiming with a super high sensitivity. So I recommend anywhere between 5 and 10 on the sensitivity, particularly for Warzone 2. In multiplayer you can afford to have a higher sensitivity, but in Warzone typically your engagement's going to be at a longer range, and you're not going to be rushing around like you are in multiplayer, getting 10 kills a minute and things like that. Probably only really going to be getting 2 or 3 kills in a short space of time max. So my second tip is just try lowering your sensitivity. You can, if you still play on a high sensitivity and that's something that's comfortable for you, keep doing that, but just attempt a lower sensitivity if you are struggling with your aiming a bit. Alright guys, moving on to tip number 3 now, and that is something that I see a lot of people also not doing, is using different weapons in Warzone. I recommend this highly because you're going to be putting yourself in different situations, similar to putting yourself in more engagements. This one's putting you in a variety of different situations, and you play differently with each gun. Obviously, if you're using an assault rifle or an LMG, you're going to be putting yourself in different situations. And this gameplay shows, for my first life here, before I go to the Gulag, I'm using the ROYALE LMG here. So this gun's a bit less mobile, slower firing but highly accurate. And later in the gameplay you'll see me using a DMR, which actually was the first time I've used this weapon in Warzone. So it just allows you to play in a different way and just try different things in Warzone, putting yourself in different positions and all those kind of things. So tip number 3 is just try a variety of different weapons. Alright guys, on to tip number 4 now, and something you'll notice is, and this shows a good example of it right here, is learning from your mistakes. So if you look in the bottom left hand corner here, you'll see I've only got 1 plate on, and that's from the previous engagement that I had. And with this guy here, he was a decent player, but if I had 3 plates on I would have killed this guy. So making sure you learn from your mistakes in every death and not doing the same thing over and over. So I've learned from this thing here, just when I get the opportunity to replay it, I should be replaying. I shouldn't have lost his gunfight. As you see there, he's got all 3 plates on and he had low health. So if I had all 3 plates on, I would have killed him in that situation. So don't be afraid to make mistakes in the game, and definitely be learning from your mistakes. You don't want to keep repeating the same things over and over if you're dying in a similar fashion. So tip number 4 is learn from your mistakes and don't be afraid to make them. Alright guys, moving on to tip number 5 now, and it sort of puts all the tips together, is actually playing mini trio royales. And the reason I say this is because you're starting off in pretty much after where the first circle lands in. It's a higher paced game type, and it actually allows you to practice, final circle plays, which are very important. You'll be in those situations a lot more often. You'll be putting yourself in a lot more engagements, obviously, as the map's small to start with. So it's essentially just practicing that tip number 1 of putting yourself in more engagements, and you can test different guns and things, and the games go a lot quicker, so you'll be in and out of games pretty quick. Alright guys, that's my 5 tips and tricks on how to get better at Warzone 2. Hopefully you enjoyed, and you're enjoying the gameplay in the background. I'll leave it on to the end. You'll see the final circle's quite intense. It actually goes for a bit of time, so it's interesting to see, and you might learn a thing or two on how to be a bit more patient in the final circle. Hopefully you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe and like on the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
All bounty targets are down. Well done. Hostile UAV in the area. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. Enemy UAV overhead.
Target mark.
Hostile cross
Request
line
fire
active.
mission.
This is Phoenix 2-3, visual on the target.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
No hits on that round.
10 are left. Keep the pressure on. Hostiles are using recon. Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone. Got gas moving in. You're in the top 5. Bring home the win. Gas is moving in. Safe zone located. You're losing ground. Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.